Over the past year, crypto has been pretty crazy, but one thing that comes around every few months is the title of a video or an article stating that Cardano is in a massive state for a incoming supply shock. I myself have made videos about this quite a few times. I am not going to say I'm not one to pump a little hopium into the market, as that is kind of the purpose of my channel. But in today's video, I want to take a deeper look into some of these supply shocks and why I thought they were coming, and maybe they didn't so much, but also why I think fundamentally Cardano supply shocks are a thing in the grander scale, but maybe not so realized in price appreciation on the short-term values. So here's my general theory. Supply shock predictions and people getting crazy hype about Cardano prices usually comes with some type of an event and more general search interest for Cardano. Right now, we don't really have that search interest indicating that something crazy is going to happen for price or supply shock, but we do have something that is called the Vasil hard fork, where people are FOMOing and they are saying, hey, all the last hard forks, things went up, crazy amounts of percent. Here's the Mary era up, 1600%, and then we have the Alonzo era up about, 200%. So things happen that are crazy, and these hard forks, maybe Vasil will be the exception, and we're going to break ties from the rest of the cryptocurrency market and induce a supply shock because of all these amazing factors that I've yet to mention in this video. So I do think that that is possible. A lot of people are going to be calling for supply shock. Do I think it's actually going to happen short term? Maybe less ADA will be available to the open markets, but I don't think the price directly will be tied to those indifferences in market supply and market demand, because I don't think they're going to be that large, and people are likely still going to give up their ADA for cheap. Now, some of the supply shock factors that I mentioned in other videos, and I'll mention it again today, are things like total ADA staked, total value locked, and also the amount of ADA that is locked in things like treasury and development funds that aren't really accessible or open to public. So things that can't be put on the open market essentially until they're unlocked by a governance proposal or something like that. And then we also have in general just DeFi for Cardano, basically ADA being locked up in these projects. Whether these projects sell the ADA they earn or whether these projects keep it, I have no idea. But there's also the idea of locking value in the protocols, which I mentioned earlier. Right now, it's at about 179 million. ADA price has went down significantly, so the total value locked in USD has went down significantly. I'm not sure how much the actual amount of ADA being locked has changed, but the price of it has went down a lot. Also, when I mentioned treasury development funds and those being locked up ADA, that is pretty much right now almost 8 billion, hard to read on your screen probably, but 900 million ADA locked in the treasury for Cardano. This is used for development and all voted through on where it goes through Catalyst. So a major breakthrough in just blockchains in general is having something like this, almost a war chest of funds that are also licking or locking up supply gradually. As more transactions happen on the network, this also grows and more ADA is available in terms of like circulating supply. It is still circulating supply, but it is more or less locked in the treasury. To be honest, mentioning the staked ADA factor isn't all that important for a supply shock. Yes, I know ADA will be more limited if people are using their own wallets and not exchange wallets to stake it. We also have to take into account that when people have staked their ADA, yes, they have in their own wallet, but at any point in time, they can take it out and send it to an exchange. It's only a few minutes difference. It does make a difference, but in general, just because 73% of all ADA is staked doesn't mean that that 73% won't have massive sell pressure on the rise of a actual supply shock if it happens for Cardano. So in terms of supply shock cycles, I do think we are in one right now, but it is not actually a supply shock. The supply shock cycles that I'm talking about are more or less hype cycles driven by major news like hard forks, where people scream supply shock out of their minds, but it doesn't actually happen in most cases. And I have learned that over the past year, basically screaming supply shock when I think things are going to get crazy. And usually when things do get crazy, it is more or less sell the news, buy the event, things like that. So you buy after the fact when the prices went down. Pretty logical for crypto, but pretty hard to grasp your head around when it hasn't happened to you before and your emotions are high. In general, my plan would be to hold my ADA and stake in the protocol for around 4% annually. using the Jack stake pool. That is my stake pool. If you want to support the channel and you want to earn passive ADA on your ADA, you can do so. But really, I'm just here surviving, holding my ADA and investing for the long term. That has been the idea all along. I do think Cardano is in a great position still. Things are going very smoothly. The Visceral hard fork has attracted a lot of attention in terms of amounts of attention we can get in a bear market, as things are quite slow in general. But overall, I'm enjoying what is happening. I'm relaxing a little bit in the sense of not looking at the price too much and trying to survive through the bear market. So when the super hype cycle does come and those actual supply shocks are in place, I will be prepared. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found it useful, interesting, whatever else. If you did, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and even maybe sharing this video with your grandma. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.